Good morning, everyone. I'm Peter Panagore, and this is not church. It's a biblical exploration. It's an alternative biblical exploration through the lens of near-death experience of the scriptures. And this week, like everybody else in America, I've been quite troubled. On top of COVID-19, we had a homicide by a police officer. And I want to say at the outset here, work with police. I've worked with police closely for decades. I come from a police family. But murder is murder, and racism is racism. And this morning, I struggled, like everybody is struggling, with what to say. So, I have a little prepared piece, and then I'll just launch into a riff. Thanks for joining me here this morning. May God's peace be in your heart. May God join us together in love. All they ever offer to my deeply wounded people are empty hopes for peace. Jeremiah. Wrongs need to be righted. God blesses those who work for peace. They will be called children of God. Jesus. Live in peace with each other. Jesus. Violence in the streets is not a way to healing. Violence in our cities opens ways to great perils. There are those among us who want to start a new civil war and are seeking opportunities to start one. Let's not give them the chance. I'd rather see the National Guard in the streets keeping the peace than malicious. How can there be peace between the races when we're so deeply wounded? One side says, "You hurt me every day." The other side says, "Did not, don't care, so what if I did?" No wonder there's anger flaring, murders, fire, looting, hatred. There's one way out of this. There's always only ever been one way out of this. Each of us has a pearl of great price. Each of us is the pearl of great price. Once upon a time, a merchant found a pearl of great price and sold everything she had to acquire it. This tale of Jesus tells the tale of our search for the divine, and that's the only way out of this. How do we see beyond the skins of our enemies, beyond the skins of those we've never met before and we judge before we meet them? How do we see inside another soul if it isn't for the pearl of great price? That's the only way. Give up everything to acquire the pearl of great price. You are the pearl of great price. You are the treasure of heaven. You are the life that God gives you. God entrusts us with this great gift of life. This love that lives inside us is the gift to us. And we honor it when we seek the pearl of great price. When we seek the pearl of great price, we don't take away the troubles of the world. We don't alleviate our own stress. What we do is we join our hearts together with the oneness of being, and in that place is where we find ourselves. Find ourselves, the one that we lost when we were born. We find ourselves inside the pearl of great price. The pearl of great price is the opening to heaven. We purchase it with our lives on a daily basis, with every breath that we take. That's the way of prayer. We have violence in our streets, and the people are angry from centuries of oppression, from daily indignities. And I hate the violence in the streets. I don't want violence in the streets. Martin Luther King Jr. aimed for peace. Mahatma Gandhi preached peace. Jesus says, I leave a peace with you that no world can give you. That's the peace that comes first. And when that peace comes first, we stand for justice, we stand against racism, we stand for truth, we stand for equality, we stand for the oppressed. The Bible takes a preferential option for the poor and for the oppressed. The Old Testament does. When we seek the peace of God, we bring that to our daily lives. And then when we see the other, the one who is not like us, the one whose skin might be different than us, instead of seeing the exterior, we see the soul within. We literally see the light inside them. When we literally see the light inside, that's when their humanity becomes full and real and not perceived and partial. Because in the moment of the connection where your pearl meets my pearl, that's the place where God is. That's the sermon for today. In this nation of strife, I pray for peace, but I pray for justice and equality and open-heartedness. Open-heartedness not just to each other, but first and foremost to the divine, to the oneness of being. And in the oneness of being, that's where we find ourselves. And we find ourselves in the other, in their eyes, in that light inside them. And yes, we have a long history of oppression in our nation, and I can't imagine what it's like to be Black in America. I'm a white privileged guy. I come from privilege. I live privileged. I live in a white town in a beautiful place. It's not white because we keep people out. It's just because I live in Maine. It's too far from everything. Come and visit us here. Bring your love here. When the epidemic is, well, not over, when self-isolation ends, come here. Come here and bring love. Be love here, all of us together. Anyway, I begin to ramble, so I'll end with this. Some of you folks have noticed the glass behind me, the beautiful glass work. That's all donation from Vermont Glass Works at VT Glass. And I say that because my friends Wendy and Harry have been supporting my ministry and me for decades with glassware. For decades, and I appreciate their support. And I want to let you know that yes, there's a film deal, and yes, there's a book potential deal, but I'm unemployed, and none of those things pay until they pay, and they haven't. So I'm trying to make this ministry work. If it feeds you, if it inflames your heart, if it gives you something to think about, then please help me out. Keep me going. For your sake, for our sake. I'm trying to build something here together with you and for the world, but mostly for God, because why would I choose to do this for a living if I could do anything else? Seriously. So links are in the notes. Thanks. Counseling's available at the same website, peterpanagore.love. Subscribe there. You're going to get new videos. You'll get connection to the holy. All right. Talk to you later. Now I'll say hi to folks. Hi, Ken. Hi, Wendy. Russell. Lee. Wendy again. Let's see. And Susan. Westlaw. Lois. See if there's anybody over on. And Julie. Good morning, everybody. Pop on my glasses. It might be easier to see the screen that way, but it's hard to say. Let's see. Hi, Peter, says Russell. Love, it's hard to know what else to say. Yeah, It's great right now. I struggled for days to try to figure out, like everybody else, I'm not unique in that. I'm struggling too. Lee, I see who is fomenting the civil war. May our love be stronger. Wendy, we want to help you help us. Thank you for speaking. Thanks, Wendy. Ken, keep up the excellent work. Thanks, man. Susan, good morning. Hi. Wiesla, hi again. And not much else said over. So, well, anyway, my friends, I'm going to say goodbye now for the day. It's time to bid thee peace.